I feel so upfront.
We are live and in person. Here we are, everybody. Welcome to Everything Teams Phone Live, episode not 19. Today's 19th. It's episode 17, and we're going to talk about Microsoft Teams as your phone system for your organization. And we're going to talk about a lot of different things today, but it is Brandon and I. Brandon, what do you do, man?
I'm,
Who are you?
first of all, coming to you live not from Denver for once. I'm in. I think I'm on the surface of the sun today. It's so
Is it
hot here.
warm?
I'm on the Snake River between Washington and Idaho.
Are you doing some fly fishing today? What are you doing out there, man?
Visiting family. Potentially some fishing. Still have yet to get out on the river. Maybe later today. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, it's like 95 degrees out there
Well,
today.
that sounds exciting. Well, you're closer to me now than you ever have been, Brandon, from Denver. I'm in sunny for once, right? Sunny Sammamish, Washington is where I'm coming at you. It's I like to call it the Teams Phone Executive Headquarters, because at the Starbucks in Sammamish, at the Orange Theory in Sammamish, at any sort of watering hole gathering point in Sammamish, you're likely to run into an executive from Microsoft that has a big role in the Teams phone or Teams, or quite frankly, Microsoft ecosystem of some sort, because Sammamish is home to, just tons and tons of Microsoft executives. If I walk down to get the mail, there's probably someone that's listened to our podcast that's a Microsoft employee, or that's making some big decisions around Microsoft Teams phone right down the street. So it's pretty cool. All right. Okay, everyone, it's been an exciting Friday. So happy Friday, everyone. We're excited to show you a few things on the Microsoft Teams phone system. If you're an organization, in fact, I've got to get my cell phone out so I can do the whole chatting with everyone. If you're an organization looking to move to Microsoft Teams, this is the show for you, because not only do we talk about how Microsoft Teams can change your business from a productivity perspective, but we talk about how we can help implement those services and how you can find resources and reasons to move into Microsoft Teams for your organization. So if you are on Microsoft Teams today, not watching the podcast, I mean, we're on on LinkedIn Live, but if you're on as an organization Microsoft Teams today, and for those of you at Microsoft, that's unfair, so please, you don't get to comment. We know you're on Microsoft Teams, but if you're a listener today and you're on Microsoft Teams as an organization, just hit a little button here or do a little shout out on this. If you're using Microsoft Teams phone, by all means say, yep, I'm using Microsoft Teams phone today. It's amazing. I'd say, what are you doing here then? What are you doing on this podcast? I appreciate you listening, but hey, okay. So Brandon, let's kick things off with, there's a report that came out of Microsoft. This came out in March, and sometimes we bring it up and sometimes we don't, but it's been a big discussion point for a lot of organizations in the last few weeks, and I thought it'd be important to bring up the Forrester report again. So I'm gonna show that Forrester report, and I'm gonna have the organization or have everyone look at this with us, because this is pretty important. It's the Forrester Total Economic Impact of Microsoft Teams Phone, and I want to bring this up because the Microsoft Teams Phone as a system has gained so much momentum this quarter. Obviously, the first quarter it was busy, but this quarter it just seems like, and Brandon, you can give me your thoughts, but it just seems like it has exploded in popularity, and it seems Main Street, sort of in the, even in the mid, not obviously in the global organizations, but the mid-sized businesses and even the larger SMB, it seems to be somewhat mainstream today. Are you seeing the
Yeah,
same thing?
shoot, there's days where you wish our listeners could just hear the conversations you and I have, right? We just had one today, a couple different conversations today around organizations who are still engaged on legacy phone systems, maybe other hosted systems. But it seems like the temperature and the conversation is always the same for us. When we engage with them, it's, you know, we know we need to go to Microsoft Teams, or we know we want to go to Microsoft Teams Phone. we just, maybe they're looking for some guidance, or they're looking for some best practice, or they're looking for some reference checks on, is it as good as we think it is, or help us dispel the age old, you remember when Teams phone first came out, it was like, well, is Teams really a phone system, right? So I think a lot of it is the focus is shifting that direction, and now it's the engagement is, how do we get there? And I think back to this Forrester report, this is just, kind of proof in the pudding, I guess, that helps encourage people if they have yet to get their questions answered. This is a great starting point for Teams Phone.
Here's what I'm seeing out there. You ready? A lot of organizations don't even know for the nomenclature's there, the discussions are there. They're having these discussions, right? Microsoft Teams Phone. The CIOs are going, we need to get a Microsoft Teams Phone. The telco guys are not the same guys as the IT guys in an organization. Okay. The IT guys understand what Microsoft Teams Admin Center looks like. Okay. And so you look at it and you go, yep, I can see what that is. I understand how that maybe how it works, And then you got the telco guys that are either coming from a Cisco, Mitel, an NEC, and Avaya, okay, and they're used to that sort of interface, right? If it's command line, or if it's, if it's not necessarily a beautiful sort of interface, except for legacy old short tail. I think that used to be pretty decent from an interface perspective. But if you are coming now, maybe now you're even looking at a cloud solution, and you're in a cloud solution today, so you're used to some beautiful sort of web interface stuff, right? Well, when you go to Microsoft Teams, it's more wiki, which is it is it a wiki? I forget what it's called. More wizard based, right?
Yeah, very very wizard driven, very step by step. Click here, and it just very intuitive. I remember when I first was exposed to the Teams Phone system. Obviously, I come from telco service provider world, so I understand the logic of telephony. But even so, I can remember being exposed to a lot of different PBXs out there, and just remembering back, to the first exposure to Teams Phone, and thinking, man, this is almost foolproof. But again, I don't want to oversimplify. Outside of it, it's very simplistic, yet just as feature rich as the next phone system that we think of as being feature rich.
Right. I'm going to put you on the spot today. I want you to think about this for a second, Brandon. You're our CTO. Okay. We're going to get you in a technical bind here. I think I'm going to try to stump the expert, but here's what we're going to do.
Boy.
While we're going through some discussion points, and you can pay as little or as much attention as you want as we're going through some discussion points about this total economic impact thing, while I kind of talk about it a bit, what I'd like to see is, can you get service up and running, Brandon, from 0 to hero think about how you'd show that demo. And guys, this is completely unscripted, so we're not Brandon. I gave him zero time.
Put me on the spot.
I putting him on the spot. Zero time to prepare for this. But basically, I'm saying, Brandon, can you go and add numbers to a user? You don't have to have a new domain, so you don't worry about adding a new domain into the Microsoft ecosystem. But if you've got a way to select G12 as your Operator Connect provider, if you've got a way to add that phone number or pick up a phone number from the Microsoft or from the G12 inventory in our portal, and then adding it to a user. Think about how you can show that, because what I want to show customers is how you go from I don't know anything about Teams, okay, and look, Microsoft is amazing at putting a solution together, a platform together for people to use and for partners to help their customers at. Do I expect an end user to be able to understand it all the way through? Probably not at this point. But what we want to show you is how quickly and how smoothly on the platform it allows us to go add phone numbers and create a potential environment or phone system for a customer. Okay, so we're going to show you that. Brandon's going to show you that without even me kind of prompting him for it. He's going to show you that. I'm going to start talking about this Forrester report and give him a couple of minutes to prepare here. But let's talk about this Forrester report on an enterprise level. And so basically, we've gone through this whole report, right? And it's I don't know, 30 pages or so. And here's the takeaway, okay? Return on investment, 143% for the enterprise. Now, the enterprise was a significant organization. I think it was sitting somewhere around 10,000 users or 5,000 users. I can't remember the exact user count that they use. And if you can imagine, if you're an organization, a hospital, a large global organization, and you have phone systems in different regions, and you have people associated with managing those phone systems, and then you've got telco services spread out to every one of those organizations or every one of those systems, you can imagine the web of cost that you're bearing right now, right? That web of cost is significant in three different categories, right? The telco cost, the management cost, and then quite frankly, the loss of productivity. Okay. So that's what you're seeing. Now, that's what they're measuring against. So if you see this enterprise from a savings perspective, you look at this total cost of ownership reduction of 45%. I got to make sure and say reduction. So total cost of ownership reduction of 45%. So it is a massive savings to an enterprise organization. I'll break down what that means to you in just a second, but it's pretty significant with a payback of 6 months. Does anything have a 6-month payback? Like anything these days that you invest in, does anything have a 6-month payback? That is incredible. And as an organization who uses and sells Teams services all day, every day, I can tell you that our productivity as an organization is bar none the best productivity we've ever experienced in our 12-year history by being on and living in Microsoft Teams voice. Okay, so here you can see the breakdown, replacing previous voice solutions, replacing telephony, Ryan, if you're listening, not telephony, support efforts. There's some savings there. Improved communication, 7.9 million. So improved communication is a nod to the productivity gains, and how that was measured is the amount of time that it takes a person, okay, an employee to do these tasks. Okay. Now these tasks are now removed because you're on Teams phone as an example. And so they calculated that person's salary by like 2.5 minutes a day dealing with something legacy or something like that. And now you get this total cost savings from that perspective, calculated, annualized, and over a 3-year period. Okay. So that's how that was calculated. Take the small business as an example. Here is where it's shockingly apparent that every organization, if you need a phone system, and everybody does, if you're a mid-sized organization or a small organization, take 25, even 50 users, somewhere around there. I'll consider that a small business. Micro businesses, even you guys can take part of this and go, wow, this is insanely cheap. Okay, it'd be less than a couple of cell phone plans as an example. Okay, so small businesses and your 25, 50 users or so, you're expected to save somewhere around 82%. Here it gets even better. If you're a nonprofit organization, you may get this service nearly free or significantly discounted. Okay. It's my deck, buddy. It's my deck. I'll send it over to you, man. I'll send it over to you. So you can see that the savings is significant. Okay. So when you sign up for service with an organization like G12 or something like that, and you're utilizing the Microsoft phone system, the savings are crazy. And that's not even the best part about it. Okay. Savings is just one component. Okay. Here are the things that they, that basically, here are the things that they quantified in that report. And I kind of broke it down already. Cost savings from retiring the legacy phone system, reduced telephony support effort, and then improved integration and communication. Here's what's even better. You ready for this? This is what's better. Everyone cares about the customer interaction. The customer journey has never been more popular from a term than it is today. Everyone's focused on the customer journey. How do I get you instant gratification? How do I make you happy instantly? How do I solve your problem instantly, right? Customer journey is important. Look at what happens here when you have Microsoft Teams phone. Not only is your business secured, better security and business continuity, but you have happier employees because they are communicating. I mean, Brandon and I are on this web chat right now, and we see each other like this every single day. whether it's with customers or without customers on internal meetings, we see each other like this. And it's like, we're not like we're in an office, because you can't replace, the camaraderie of slapping someone on the back. Right. But as much as you can, from a facilitating collaboration, this is as good as it gets. Okay. So you got happy employees because you can do the job and you can work with somebody. And then customers are happier. I'm going to explain to you real quick why customers are happier. Brandon, you can tell me when you're ready to go, because we'll drop this whole deck thing and we'll get into some meat and potatoes. But happier customers. Let me explain something to you. I love when we put on these little widgets in your signature, and I don't have one to show you right now, but these little widgets in your signature that say chat with me on Teams. So if you can imagine sending out your email signature and it says Rick Garcia, Mr. What am I? Whatever I am, guy at G12, right? Chief Revenue Officer, something like that. You put something like that on your signature. My phone number is right there. And then, hey, just chat with me in Teams. How cool is that when you send that out as a signature? You're inviting whoever you're communicating with to just bring that discussion right to you in your Teams interface. Everyone, Teams phone and Teams is the hub for your business communication. It is your business communication operating system. And so the productivity and the customer experience and journey is far, in a way, better than if you don't have Microsoft Teams phone, period. Hands down. Okay. Brandon.
Yeah, and it's, I was going to say and I am ready to pile onto the happier customer, happier employee, just overall better experience. It's, the thing that I love about it is it's a single app. There's no more what I would consider swivel chair between collaboration tools, right? It's the end all be all platform for anything I need to do collaboration wise, whether it's video, chat, phone call, you name it, SMS even. It's all in one application, whether it's mobile or on my desktop. And it's all synchronized between all the different devices that I'm running. So that's my favorite thing about it, having come from years of, having the hard phone on the desk where you're dialing into conference bridges, to echo from all the speakerphone users out there, to now one-stop shop on Microsoft Teams.
I'm gonna, as you get ready to go, I'm gonna talk about the modular, not now, but after you go through a quick, remind me, I want to talk about how modular Microsoft Teams phone is, so that you can see if you can imagine it, right? As an organization, if you've got a business process that you need improvement on, I want to show you how we can do that. So anyway, Brandon, why don't you show us something different than a deck, man? This is not a PowerPoint Friday. It's a let's do the deal Friday.
How about the big halo of, all right, let me, the thing I was going to joke about is this background isn't maybe even a real background. It's maybe an AI generated background. And I might be sitting on a boat on the Snake River using my 5G hotspot. So bear with me while I do this demo. If a wave hits and I go overboard,
we'll know.
Don't laugh too hard. I'll be back. All right. So what I'm going to demonstrate, and since Rick, you put me on the spot, I'm going to start from kind of the Teams user interface, the actual client, and bear with me. I got a lot of stuff opened here.
I love that, because that's what I want to show you. Everyone, G12 is built, and I hate to ring the G12 bell here, but we're built into Microsoft Teams. And what does that mean? Means we've got physical connectivity via maps, right, into Microsoft Teams, so that your business continuity and your uptime is guaranteed. As much as Microsoft puts it a guarantee on there, we're there with you, right? So anyway, Go ahead.
Yep. So, if you're a Teams user, obviously you're very familiar with the chat and the Teams functionality and the calendar and the meetings and all of that. But the thing I'm going to point out here is you'll notice that there is no calling features on this demo user that I'm logged in as. So this user has no ability to make outbound telephony, PSTN based, DID based dial, to receive an inward dial or to make an outbound dial. This user can call other teams users, internal and external to the organization, but that is the sum of it. So where a company like G12 comes in from an Operator Connect perspective is we're going to, now knock on wood, this demo goes well, we're going to go sign up for G12, we're going to go grab a number, and we're going to go assign it to this user and activate it.
Man, that's exciting. That's
So
exciting.
I would love to, I'd love to be able to start from soup and go all the way up, but since I was put on the spot, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, no, I just put you on the spot, buddy. Let's do it.
Yep. So we're gonna start here. We'll just, we'll show that OC. This is the Teams Admin Center for people that aren't familiar with it, and I'm looking at the Teams users that are in. I'm filtering it down for my user. So this OC user 1, I just want to call out, has no phone number assigned to him in the Teams Admin Center. So that's why you don't see the dial pad on his Teams client. He's not activated for service yet. So what we'll do is we're going to go set that all up. If this is as a client to maybe G12 Communications, if you're looking for Operator Connect, before you are ready to activate the service, the first thing you need to do is establish that relationship with G12 Communications as an operator. What I'm about to show is actually now, this is purely optional. This is no longer required. But what you can do is, based out of the library of 63 operators, you can pick G12 Communications to be your operator, and you can associate it to your My Operator page if you want to keep track of who your carriers are. This is not required anymore.
That's good. I was going to say, how do you blur out all those other providers in there? Just like blur them out, but just don't even bring it up. I love it. That's great.
Yep. So obviously there's a marketplace within Microsoft that would direct you off to, the G12 website where you can kind of get in contact with us. Obviously I'm not here to do a sales pitch, so I'll just stop talking about that. And just note that once you've established that relationship with the carrier, in this case G12 Communications, what we're going to do is we're going to send you off to our portal. I'm actually signed in, so one sec. I gotta open a different tab so that you can see this. We're going to send you off to a portal where you'll have the opportunity to register as a new company within our automation. So this allows us to take our telephony, our PSTN network, our core network, and automatically attach it to Microsoft's phone system and your Teams Admin Center and make all of that, phone magic happen, if you will. So what you would do is you would register for an account. Once you're registered, you're going to end up logging into what is the Teams calling automation platform on G12. You're going to look at your dashboard. You will end up pairing your Operator Connect service in our portal to your Teams tenant. I can't demonstrate this because I've already done it, but essentially what happens is you're going to click Add Service. You'll select Operator Connect. If I select this, I'll get an error, but you would select it. It's going to pop up a Microsoft grant consent screen. You're going to have admin credentials that you put in, and you grant that consent. And that is what allows us to pair our telephony back to your Teams Admin Center. And we automatically build all the SIP trunking. We automatically upload all of your number inventory, and we give you the tools to self-provision your users without ever needing to go into the Teams Admin Center, which is this screen that we're looking at now. So once you've established all of that with G12, and again, that, what I just explained, I've got guys on my team that can probably do it faster than I just explained it. That's how quickly we can get some of this stuff done through the automation. So once you've done that, if you port your numbers over to us or you order new numbers, we will automatically push them up into your phone number inventory list in the Teams Admin Center, where you can see your phone number, the carrier G12 Communications, and then the location of that phone number. So 206 obviously being Seattle here in the United States. And then how that number is provisioned, whether for a resource account, things like auto attendant, call queue, contact center type stuff, or directly to a user. So what I'm going to demonstrate here is let's just assume that all of these numbers here are being utilized for other users or plug-in modules, resource accounts, call queues, that kind of stuff. We're going to go order a new number. We're going to assign it back up to my user up here in the manage user section, and we're going to tie it to this OC user 1. And what you'll see is I'm going to do this all from our automation platform. I'm not actually going to touch Teams Admin Center outside of, I'll show you it syncing as it syncs up into the Teams admin. And then lastly, what we'll do is we'll come up here. I'm going to sign out of this user. We'll sign back in, and we'll hope that that shows up. So, whoop, I didn't know I wanted to sign out here. So let's sign out. And was that. All right, so you ready for this, Rick?
Let's do it. Let's do it, buddy. I'm excited to see it.
I'm gonna engage you, and I'm gonna ask you to pick a number. So this is from the customer point of view, right? We put this in the control of the customer. Customer is, has complete flexibility on how they want to do this. They obviously can engage us for support if they want the help. We're gonna come over to numbers. Again, this is the G12 Teams calling automation platform. All of the telephony is managed and maintained by G12, but we give you the tool to access the data. So this is the same inventory that's in the Teams Admin Center. In this case, we're going to go order a new number. So we're going to request a new block of numbers. We're going to let it paint the available block of numbers. We have a bunch of 206 numbers that show up. So Rick, what number would you like OC user 1 to have?
0083. You're on it. 0083.
0083. All right, let's go. We're just going to request that. We're going to hit that little plus sign. 0083, request that block. And there it goes. And let's go back to our phone number inventory. And let's find 0083. And you can see here, the number is pending allocation. So what that's doing is we've grabbed now the number off of the G12 PSTN core network out of our inventory system. We've activated it up into the Operator Connect environment. And now what it's doing is from our environment, it's pushing this number up into the Teams Admin Center. So over here under phone numbers, we should see a 0083 show up. But let's go back and see if it's done doing its allocation. This can take I got to assign it to a trunks. 1 second. This is not how we set up customers. This is how I have this environment set up, but I want to set this to Microsoft Operator Connect. I had that disabled. For a customer, the user experience would automatically go to Operator Connect up into Teams Admin Center. So we'll give it, say, another 15 seconds, and it should hopefully push up and allocate into the inventory. And then once it's allocated, then I can take that number and I can go assign him to that number to the user. And then we'll see it update the user in the Teams Admin Center. And then from there, I should be able to, I don't know why this thing is not logged out yet. Let me see if it.
While you're waiting for that to happen, let's do this. I want to talk about a couple of things that are new in Microsoft Teams. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen for just a hot second while that is being, while that's doing its sync right there. I'm going to show you some cool things that are new in Microsoft Teams Phone that are really important. Here's a list of a few things right here. You've got user managed call queue and auto attendant greetings. Now, what that does is allow a user that may manage a region or a location. It allows them access to go in there and change the queue menus or the queue greetings and the auto attendant greetings. And what that does is lets you prepare for inclement weather, any changes in your normal schedule that doesn't impact the rest of the organization. A lot of organizations that we deal with have a lot of different locations, and this is one way to address, to delegate that sort of change out to that branch manager as an example. So it's awesome. new federated group calling. So for an organization that has a massive organization and they have separate other groups, or other groups want to daisy chain onto, and Brandon can probably explain it better, into their calling group, we can federate those calling groups now. That means just tie them together so you can do that sort of call to call experience. Screen pop on call acceptance. And that's really cool. I mean, you got different applications that are simple to set up so that we can screen pop any information or account information that's automatic in there. Microsoft Teams does the integration via Power Automate, or sorry, via is it not Power? Is it Power? I think it is Power Automate, or yeah, it's Power Automate or ACS. They complete that sort of integration already. So it's just click and URL identified if for you as an end user. It's pretty easy. Missed call notification on your activity feed, and then a couple other things here. I'll let you, Brandon. Are you set? Is your okay? Then why don't you take this back, and I'll talk about these other ones in a bit.
Yeah, and some of this I'll be able to demonstrate if we can get this demo to go as smoothly as I hope it does. But here's our 0083 that you picked. You can see the status is okay in our automation platform. We'll come over here, we'll refresh Teams Admin Center. And again, I promise I didn't do anything while Rick stole my screen share. I know some people may want to fact check me, but I promise I didn't do anything. There's our 003 that has showed up in Teams Admin Center. And again, just to come over here and confirm before I switch back, my OC user 1 that I'm going to pick on, there is no phone number assigned. So what we're going to do is we're going to go assign and activate that user with a phone number and with Teams phone service. And so we're going to come up here to users back in G12's portal. We're going to find OC user 1, and you can see OC user 1 under telephone number, it's not allocated. We're going to just edit that user, and we're going to drop 003 onto that user. We're going to save those changes, and we should see here OC user. Right here, we've got OC user 1 now. It's pending update. So again, what our platform is doing is it's going and pushing that number assignment up to the user in Teams Admin Center and activating that phone service for that user. Again,
how do I know, Brennan? How do I know it's active on that user?
You're going to know it's active when this status turns green. And again, that's you could go check in the Teams Admin Center, but we've provided a way to give you a status without needing admin access to the Teams Admin Center. And that may be advantageous for some companies where they want to delineate maybe the legacy telephony guys are the telephony guys and the Microsoft admins are the Microsoft admins. Again,
can the end user call now? Can the end user call? Let's get to the real. I mean, can the end user call at this point?
We're going to try. We see the status is okay, so let's just make sure that as part of the demo, our audience sees what's going on. I know you just want to get straight to the meat and potatoes.
I'm so impatient. I'm sorry. I'm so impatient.
Yep. OC user 1 now has a phone number associated, and it's the 003 that you picked.
0083, 0083, man. Is it 003 or 083?
083. Yep. And the phone number type I just pointed out, operator connect. So we now, in theory, have a fully working user with a Teams phone, live Teams phone service. So I'm actually gonna kill this app and reopen it real quick and then sign in. There is, as we know, Microsoft, sometimes it takes a little bit for data to sync end to end. So we'll see if I've seen it where it takes a little bit for that Teams
to sync up and get the icon in there.
For it to get the icon. And, that's the hardest thing for us is we talk about the automation and everything. And I'm always cautious to tell people, Yep, we're fully automated, but it's still, once we hit the Microsoft delineation, that demarc, and we hand that automated instruction off, it's still, you think about how big Microsoft is across 300 million users using Teams as their day-to-day collaboration client. Just imagine how long it takes for all of these instructions to queue up and sync out to, the various endpoints that are being changed, probably thousands every second. So it might be a good point to talk about some other features while we wait for, maybe another minute or so.
I was going to say, why don't we pivot back to the G12 application, the telephone provisioning application, because here's what's interesting. How quickly can you build a phone system? Let's just say you're going to go build a template and go build a phone system in Microsoft Teams. If I'm using this platform, what does that look like?
Yeah. So one of the things the platform does is it allows us to create custom templates. We have a few that are out of the box that allow for, just some, sorry, I'm working without a mouse, so this is a little, it's a little sensitive. Maybe I should use the plus button. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, but
yeah, okay.
So we create some basic templates where we can come in and we can build a basic auto attendant, right? So we assign a phone number, we create an auto attendant, we check business hours, and then based on those hours, we can go into call queues, or we can disconnect the call, and we can get, again, we can build custom templates, but we've got maybe a little more, not that one, the other one. We've got a little more complex.
That's the 1.5. There you go.
There we go. I'm just, poke and hope. You just kind of click on it until you get the one to show up. I don't know. It's pretty small on my screen, so I don't know how it looks on.
Yeah, no, we can see it inbound to an auto attendant, and then there's after hours and working hours.
Yep. Welcome message, and then press an option depending on which call queue you want to get to, or whether you want to leave a message. And again, it can get as complex as they need to be depending on the size of the organization and how you need to logically route that inbound call flow.
So this is the building of a whole phone system right here, Brandon. What does it normally take if you're not in this system and you're a Microsoft person that knows what you're doing? Okay, let's just give it the knows what you're doing. How long does that take to build out a phone system with that level of complexity right there? Because that's probably your 150, 200 user employee organization right there. How long does something like that take?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the hours. We've got certified engineers, Microsoft certified engineers that we do this for customers day in and day out, and it does. If we're doing it manually, it takes hours.
And if you hit create right there, I see the button create. If you hit create, how long does that take then?
It's going to take minutes, right? It's going to, just like the phone number activation, it's API driven. It's going to go out. And when I say minutes, I mean compared to hours, it's going to do it all for you. And then really all you need to go do at that point is to go assign the users to the queues that you need them to be in, and then test it. So yeah, you're reducing your workload effort by, a magnitude of hours.
That's fantastic. Let me throw a couple of more things up real quick while you're still waiting for the sync to happen here. I'm going to show you guys another screen right here on some additional things that are new to Microsoft Teams Phone that are pretty awesome. Some of these things are the velocity at which Microsoft is delivering on requirements by people in the field is astonishing. Okay, the amount of updates that they do to accommodate the features that everyone in the field is requesting is so fast. It is crazy. Here's a simple one, and I laugh because we submitted this like a hotline phone, and then it pops up, and certainly we're not the only ones that put it in there. But the hotline phone, which is basically, if you can imagine you walk into the elevator bay and there's a phone at a secured door, and you open the phone and you talk to someone and say, "Hey, let me in." So when you pick up that Teams phone, it is ready to go. That is what the hotline phone is. So that automatic dial to an extension or group is available now. Call delegation experience, and the call delegation is awesome. So if you have, I like to use law firms in this example. So if I've got a person, if I'm a lawyer and I've got a legal assistant that helps me field my calls and things like that. Call delegation can be set up so that it's easy for me to receive a call, and if I don't answer in a certain amount of time, then it's obviously cascaded over to my call delegate, or I can actually have the person have their phone ring at the same time. So that's pretty exciting. What's also on here, and looks like we lost Brandon there. What's also cool is this click to call website app widget. This is via something called ACS, Azure Communication Services. And what is awesome about this is if you can imagine, this is where this whole customer journey comes into play, right? This click to call website app visit. So if you had on your website a reason for an organization, maybe it's a hotline of some sort. Maybe it's when I say hotline, I mean, like, let's say it's a suicide helpline or something of that nature. If it's something like that, then the nice thing is you've got the app sitting on your website, and if you click it, okay, if you go into the app and just click on communicate with that hotline, it can go to an individual user or a group of users, which is amazing because you've got the ability now to bring customers right in from your website, bring them right into your team's chat, your team's environment. Okay. And so handling that immediate response, that immediate request from a customer via the same platform, no need to log into something different. You're going to receive those messages right in Teams to the individual or to the group of individuals so that you can provide a better customer experience. Brandon, welcome. I'm glad to have you back on here.
I fell overboard. Yep.
All right. So how's your OC1 user doing for a phone system? Does he have the ability to call yet, or she?
Yeah, I'm getting myself back up here. I'm pretty sure my good old rural hotspot died on me. So
there we go.
All right. Well, we're syncing.
All right. You still sync there. I'm going to show you something else here. As a trusted leader in the voice space, okay, this is, the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Obviously, Microsoft is just leading the way. I mean, they're just leading the way. And what's interesting about this is that literally, I call it 2019 is really when this all started. I mean, Microsoft had all the years of Skype for Business building. And then the transition into Microsoft Teams. And so that was in 2019. And I can tell you that it started out a bit rudimentary in 2019. And here we are in 2023. And I tell everyone it is from a communications perspective for your business. This is why we talk to businesses every day, okay? From 10,000 users to 50 users every single day. It is the best thing since sliced bread. And I was on a call earlier and somebody told me it's Franz bread. So if you're in the Northwest, I think it's a Northwest thing, it's some fancy bread, right? So it's good bread. It's good bread. So it's the best thing since sliced bread. So there you can see it. Even Gartner says so. Fourth consecutive year as a leader in the UCAS Magic Quadrant. And then in the meeting space as well, which we don't even talk about very much, but I know every business out there, if you're looking at replacing your phone system, you're going, but what about my conference room? Man, there's so many cool things for your conference room. It's ridiculous. Like, it is amazing how simple it is to run a meeting now. If you've ever been in a conference room where you're going, where's the remote for this thing overhead? Where's the cable I got to plug into? That is out the window now, gone. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Nowadays, it's as simple as there is a dongle that you can connect into your PC, as an example, if you're going to display something, and then your meeting is spread across any number of monitors and configurations. And now the big thing is big screens, but the people are on the lower level so that they're at eye level with you. So it gives you this immersive experience, right? So there is a lot to talk about when it comes to meeting rooms. And we're going to invite a really, really well-known Microsoft Teams meeting room expert from Microsoft. He's invited and he's promised that he's coming to the show. We've yet to schedule him, but I'm going to say it's going to be for a couple of weeks out. We'll get him scheduled to talk about the meeting rooms and what's new in the meeting rooms, because it's fantastic. It's super exciting. Okay, Brandon.
Yep.
Tell us what you got now. What am I seeing?
I just commandeered your screen without your permission because, that's what I do.
It's all right.
Yeah, so I'm back in. I lost my internet connection there for a second. Logged back into OC user one. You can see I have a call tab now, and the 0083 number is assigned, and I have a cell phone here in my hand. I'm going to dial that, and we're going to see if that call comes in, and then we'll
Man,
answer that
I
call.
just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Is
Yep,
that the call?
you see the call there.
I see the
I'm going to
call
go ahead
there.
and answer it. I might even get a screen pop on it. We'll see.
You get that's some pretty colors. You got like some like pink and green and all sorts of pretty colors in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Let's see.
There's your call. And then you're muted because I'm sure your audio is like not sure where to go. Don't worry about it, Brandon. I can talk over this right here because so he's accepted the phone call from his cell phone. It's popped up OC user one, and OC user one's got the 0083 that I chose from the list down there. And you're looking at the call, the live call, and you've got some options right in here. You can record and transcribe. Okay, recording and transcription is super cool because as it's recording the call, you can actually transcribe what's happening on the call, and that text transcription will actually be listed in the call on the right hand side. And what's going to happen is that transcription can stay attached to this call information, and it will stay in your own tenant. Okay. So call transcription is important. Wait until you get to use go ahead, Brandon. Sorry. So he's okay. So he can now so there he's chatting. It transcribed what he said there. This is the best. Like I love his voice at this point because it's just me talking now. And there you go. With that, there you go. See, that's great. I'm just kidding. That's fantastic. So you can see the transcription happening, and it is accurate. It is very, very accurate. So you get the transcription there. It stays in. Wait till you get to use Copilot as an example to go search for and present to maybe your people in a call center environment. Let's just say, and present to you outcomes of a call based on the history of all the conversations that have ever been had by your organization. That's when it gets really, really amazing. The features. What are we showing me here now, Brandon? Let's see here. Oh, you put it on hold there. Call. Oh, you've parked the call now.
Hopefully I'm back audio wise.
You're back. You're back now. Okay.
Yeah. I just went ahead and parked that call. So now the caller's on hold. I can go give that parked code to someone else, and they can retrieve that call. So just quick demo of one of the other features. I don't know if we want to talk about 911.
Yeah, I think this is a great. Let's talk about this since you've got the interface up. I think it's important for a lot of people that don't usually work in Microsoft Teams as a phone system to see. If you look at this, it looks pretty basic, right? And it looks like, oh, there's not much to it. But the depth and information of the changes that you can make right here in your own personal interface is astonishing. So, Brandon, why don't you show us a few things?
So we'll start with 911. This is a fairly recent. The feature's been around for a minute, but the new address validation is now up and live with Microsoft, so it puts full 911 compliance in the end user's control. And the first thing it's going to start doing is, you can see I'm sitting in Lewiston, Idaho. Not exactly where I'm at address wise, but it's it's doing its best effort based on location services that are running on the computer to get that address. And then if I need to change it to some other address, I can change it to the address that I need, and then I can confirm and validate that address. When I dial 911, that's the address that's going to go out to the PSAP to dispatch emergency services to. This call group, and the thing I do need to call out is I am in the Teams preview mode. So some of these features, 911 is live in production. Some of these features may not be visible to standard Teams users yet, but you got the call group, which I think you touched on earlier, where you can do the one-touch group dialing. Then you've got call delegation. This is a big one. This is where if I'm on the phone talking to a customer or someone else and I receive a phone call, I can send that call off to a delegate. Maybe that's to you, Rick, where you can answer on my behalf, and you know it's a call destined for me, and so you know how to answer that phone, and then you can handle that call for me. So lots of just feature-rich stuff. Let's go up to settings. I might have to switch out of preview mode for this. Let's see if I can get into, yeah, I'm gonna have to switch out of preview mode to show you I think you touched on the auto attendant stuff, right?
Yeah, but let's, what does this have in here? I mean, if we talk about, let's go to, I mean, let's just look at this right here. Cause there's a lot of info in here. What can we see in here, Brandon? Like there's the account and what's the account stuff right here from a settings perspective?
This is just your typical team setting stuff. And the one thing the preview does is it allows you to be signed into multi users at the same time. But again, it's the same, most of the same settings you're going to be used to seeing in the normal Teams admin. So let me do this. This should just take 1 second. I'm going to flip out of preview mode, and it's going to log me into the standard view. Hopefully it keeps my OC. Nope, it didn't do my OC user one. So let me sign out. I thought it would have preserved my. By the way, there's my call. There's my call pop to Salesforce that I forgot to demo when I called in. It popped Salesforce.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't logged in. So let's log into OC user 1 here, because I want to show the auto attendant stuff that you were talking about, where now delegated supervisors or whoever you delegate can control the auto attendant stuff.
Yeah.
So basically back into the same view, just again, now no longer in the preview mode. Again, can see the emergency services and whatnot. So let's go up to settings and let's go to calls. And here's where you can see, if I scroll down, you can see all of the call queues and auto attendants that I'm a part of. So like everything Teams phone live call queue, I can pop in there and I can, on the fly, I can change the greeting to, something else to say. Maybe it's inclement weather and we're closed, so I need to update that recording to say we're sorry, and put that weather warning in or something, or whatever I need to do for that recording.
What a load off of the admin, right? What a load off of the Teams admin to be able to have delegates go and change the greetings as needed for their particular organization. Or if you're multi-site and the admin just sets up the phone system, and then you've got permissions to go create your own sort of whatever greetings you want to do as the store manager or as the site manager or as the organization, leader in that region or site. Yep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the other thing it allows me to do as the agent is it allows me to take myself out of the queue. So let's say I need to go on break or something, I can come in and I can pull myself out of that queue. So, this call receiving radio button, it just, you'll see here again, it might be small print, but it says allows calls to come in from the queue and signal to other agents when you're off duty. So I can toggle that, and now I'm not going to receive a call from that call queue as this agent that I'm logged in as.
Nice. What else do you got to show us in that section, Brandon? The settings section. There seems to be some cool stuff in there that it gives you a lot of control right at the interface level, right at the user interface level. Maybe I am the admin or not the super admin for Teams, because that's always the IT group that controls the Teams admin
lost
panel.
Audio.
That's the Teams admin panel. But let's take a look and see. Are you still with us there? No, he froze again. It looks like, no, he's there. There you are. You good? Maybe he can or cannot hear us. All right. So let's, outside of that right there, look, and we've lost him again, and that's okay. Cause we're going to sit here and talk about, is Teams the right choice for your organization? Let me show you guys something. I'm going to go back to this deck right here, because this deck is important to see that the amount of users or subscribers now, this is now actually 300 million daily subscribers in Microsoft Teams. Okay. It's 300 million active subscribers. I've just changed that there real time. And they've added over 5 million PSTN users as of last year. This year, it has been at a much more significant rate. Okay. So you got 300 million active users. I think you've got somewhere around 50 or 60 million E5 subscribers. Now, everyone, E5, if you've got an E5 license, if you're a nonprofit organization or an organization that's added E5 from a security perspective, you may already have Teams Phone built into your solution, built into your Microsoft Teams licensing, and the cost is significantly cheaper to add Microsoft Teams Voice via G12 than it is to have your whatever telephony phone solution you have running today. One thing that's interesting, here's a plug for next week. Next week, we have Microsoft joining us on our podcast. Microsoft's going to join us, and it's his name's Jason Waite. And what's really cool about this is that he's an ex-Cisco guy. And what do you think we're going to talk about, Brandon, next week when we're talking to an ex-Cisco guy gone Microsoft Teams? That sounded like a country song. An ex-Cisco guy gone Microsoft Teams. It's like gone country, gone Teams. We're going to talk about how you can migrate from Cisco Call Manager to Microsoft Teams. What an awesome conversation that's going to be, because you've got a nearly a lifelong person, Cisco person, going, yep, here's how you want to do it for Microsoft Teams, and here's why. So that's going to be an exciting discussion next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and especially how we can collaborate, with Microsoft, and how we can come alongside Microsoft and say, but check out what we can do to enrich that experience, and help the customer journey be that much better.
Well, that's what everyone's looking for, right? I mean, if you look for bigger organizations, I mean, they're talking about right here. These are some things. Thank you, Cavell Group. We stole this out of the London CloudCom Summit in March, but thank you for providing this slide to us, because this is really cool. Automation of customer journey. And this is where you look at the tools that Microsoft provides in Azure Communication Services, in Power Automate. And Power Automate, if I can describe that, Brandon, Power Automate, you can tell me if I'm wrong here, but Power Automate is almost like Zapier. Okay. If you guys, IT guys may be familiar with it, but if you think about all these automations via API pre-built, so that you can just go snap process in place for different applications. And so I think that's what Power Automate, a good explanation for Power Automate is for us normal, non-engineering, business-minded sort of folks out there. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'd call it the Lego methodology, right? You've got your building blocks, and Power Automate is kind of the glue that, the Lego blocks, as you stick them together, that allows you to create a single solution, but out of multiple blocks, right? And Power Automate is that Lego, the technology that sticks the Legos together, right? The little snap.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And then let's just talk about a couple of other really quick things here. You've got improved business continuity, disaster recovery, and security. Well, I mean, as part of the operator ecosystem, it's inherently more secure, predominantly because there is physical connectivity between your dial tone provider and Microsoft Teams. And their dial tone provider, let's just say we plug G12 as your dial tone provider. We've got physical assets between Microsoft Teams and G12. So when we're delivering service to an organization, you've got end-to-end security, you've got end-to-end connectivity. It allows us to deliver this sort of 4 nines, 5 nines experience and business continuity. So it's just
it simplifies the security compliance solutions that customers need, right? It's now a single solution. I just need to make sure my team's environment is compliant, and that's between your organization and your users, and then Microsoft handles the compliance out to the carrier, and then we'll work with each client to ensure that they understand the compliancy of how we fit into that requirement.
Perfect. We're going to end there, because what we're going to talk about one more time next week, episode 18, okay, 12 noon Pacific next Friday, we're going to talk about how to migrate from Cisco to Microsoft Teams, what you need to look out for, why you would want to migrate from Cisco to Microsoft Teams. And we've got an expert at Cisco and Microsoft Teams from Microsoft that's going to help us understand why would someone migrate from Cisco to Teams, or what are the things to look out for when migrating from Cisco to Microsoft Teams, because they're typically, big facility type organizations. And we're going to talk about how we address all those different ancillary services around the Teams solution to make sure that you have a full-on solution in the Microsoft Teams phone ecosystem. Okay, and we're going to give you a preview of our Teams texting. If you're an organization that's interested in texting, Teams texting, we are here. It is here. We're going to show you what it looks like with G12 communications on your mobile app and your PC. It's fantastic. Okay. That's all we've got for you today. This is May 19th, episode 17 in the books. Everything Teams Phone Live. Brandon, you want to sign us off?
Wishing you all a happy weekend, happy and safe weekend.
Happy and safe weekend. See you, everyone. Happy Friday. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.